Phones on mute. We would appreciate that. I want to welcome everyone to the Citizens Input Meeting for fiscal year 2022 through 2027, Capital Budget and Program. Our hearing is now called to order. My name is Scott Phillips, and I'm the chairman of the Planning Board. Tonight, the Planning Board will conduct this public meeting in order to allow county citizens, businesses, and community groups an opportunity to express their concerns related to the capital program. The comments submitted to the board and generated at tonight's meeting will be considered by the board and county agencies as the process proceeds and capital budget requests are formulated. Starting out, I would like to take note of the board members present for this video meeting. When you hear your name, please say present. Mr. Schweitzer.
Present.
Ms. Pinero.
Present.
Mr. Hartman.
Present.
Mr. Halupka.
Present.
Ms. Hafford.
Present.
Ms. Wolfson. Mr. McGinnis.
Present.
Mr. Heckman.
Present.
Mr. Heinel. Mr. Perlow. Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren, I thought he was out there. He may join us. And our newest member, Mr. Caligari. Is Henry back on? Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Tonight, Mr. Jeff Mayhew, Deputy Director from the Department of Planning, will give a brief overview of the capital budget and program process. Then we will hear from those who have registered to speak at tonight's meeting. I'd like to remind all speakers that you will have 2 minutes to speak on your issue. If you wish to leave a comment, please enter it into the host in the chat box at the lower right corner of your screen, and it will be read during the meeting. We'll now hear from Mr. Mayhew.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and city representatives. My name is Jeff Mayhew. I'll give you a brief overview of the capital improvement process and kick off as this public hearing kicks off the overall process. Chris, if you could go to the next slide, please, or Jen. Thank you. This is a sheet that shows the current capital program and budget, lists all the different categories and the different funding streams. It is a 6-year plan that is dated annually, and the first year of the 6 years is considered the budget year, capital budget year. Next, please. Thank you. Capital project is considered, you can read that there. It usually involves something more permanent for public use. These 2 pictures, one is from the Kashmir Fire Station and the Turner Station Park, are examples of capital improvement projects. Next, please. Keep going. The capital project is use different sources of funds to fund the projects and the programs. This is, keep going because it'll have the outside funds. Thank you. And these are all delineated with each capital project as to where the funding sources comes from. And some of these, as you can see, are targeted for specific uses. For instance, Metropolitan District funds are associated with water and sewer. Local open space is recreation. Waterway improvement is our friends in environmental protection use that fund. Next. Some of the benefits associated with capital programming provides long-range planning facilities with expected life and interjections for scheduled maintenance. The program does establish priorities as to when funding is going to be spent and towards what activity. If done well, fosters coordination between projects. A good example is sewer water installation versus road repaving, resurfacing, reconstruction. You can sequence those in your mind, but want to make sure the funding aligns with that. For us in the Department of Planning, it is a prime way that the county undertakes implementing the master plan to facilitate growth with the master plan. Next, please. Under the current program, the 6-year current budget year program, this is a breakdown of how the funding sources are. Roughly 40%, 45% are general obligation bonds, 4% general funds, 8% other funds and outside county funds. And water and sewer metropolitan bonds take up quite a bit of money as well. Next. This chart, based on the current program, shows you how the funding is allocated. Once again, you can see water and sewer dominates, but schools is a strong second. And then some of the other categories for the funding kind of gives you what the priority is, excuse me, for the capital program. Next. This graphic represents the process for the capital budget. We are on the upper right in the green with the citizens input meeting. From here, the agencies will develop their request and submit it to the Director of Budget. Then he'll pass it on to the Planning Board for review. When the Planning Board makes their recommendations, it'll go back to the Director of Budget and the County Administrative Officer, and then to the County Executive, which will hold 2 public hearings. Prior to being submitted to the County Council, and the County Council will approve it by June 1st. Next. So just kind of for the Planning Board's role, excuse me, based on the input and the County Executive will address the board later in January. You can modify that and delete projects. The County Executive can add or delete projects and funding. However, the County Council can only decrease or delete projects from the program. Our program, the general obligation bonds are allocated every 2 years. This is the 2nd year of that year, so most of the money is already programmed for this year with general obligation bonds. Next, so I think that is the quick summary for the process and some key points for utilizing the capital improvement program.
Thank you, Jeff, for that overview. And at this time, we will begin hearing from our fellow citizens. I will remind those persons who have signed up that you will be limited to 2 minutes. All of the individuals who have signed up will be given time to speak. The notes that I have, and I believe we had a deadline of yesterday to make your request to speak. I have 6 individuals listed. I'll mention all names and I'll call you individually. Please be prepared, but you will speak in this order. Marsha McLaughlin, Fred Halia, Patrick O'Brien, Susan Cassiani, Stephen Bowler, and Linda Kelly. So we'll first welcome Ms. Marsha McLaughlin.
Mr. Chairman, this is Chris. So we'll start with Ms. Marsha McLaughlin, and I will unmute you at this moment, and then you can begin for your 2 minutes. Ms. McLaughlin?
Ms. McLaughlin, if you are speaking, we cannot hear you. You are on mute.
Ms. McLaughlin, can you speak now?
I'll tell you what we will do. Is that?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Perfect.
Very good.
Sorry for the confusion. All of these are a little different. I appreciate your time tonight. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Lutherville Community Association. This is a request for a small piece of sidewalk on a portion of Bologna Avenue between Division Avenue and York Road. It's something that came up as in response to the comprehensive zoning map process. There's a commercial property on York Road, which was CZMP number 3-28, which was rezoned from BL Business Local to BM Business Major. The intent was to demolish a derelict building to allow additional car display for the adjacent Kia dealership. In order to address the community's concerns, a declaration of covenants was negotiated and recorded in favor of the Lutherville Community Association, in which the Nationwide Motor Sales Corp commits to providing fencing and evergreen screens to screen views of the car lot, as well as direct lighting away from the community and reduce lighting intensity after closing at 9:30. After approval of the county by the county council of the rezoning and recordation of the covenant, it became clear that Nationwide does not want the screen fencing to include a gate to allow for continued pedestrian access to York Road businesses. Lutherville is a historic district, and people have been walking up Melanchthon Avenue to York Road businesses for a very long time. However, over time, cars came onto the scene, and eventually the intersection with Melanchthon and York Road, which was an irregular 5-street intersection, became unsafe due to auto traffic. So in 1994, the county closed the connecting section of Melanchthon that runs through the 2 commercial properties in order to make the intersection safer. However, people have continued to walk up through the car dealership to York Road to support York Road businesses. And so we're looking for a way to have a sidewalk. If the owner now of the dealership does not want pedestrians walking through, it's not safe to walk up Bologna Avenue now, as it is a very narrow road with high traffic and no visibility. So we're asking for a sidewalk connection for 1 block to get around the closing of this access way that is more than 100 years old.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. McLaughlin.
Thank you.
Fred Halia. Chris, if you can unmute Mr. Halia.
Mr. Hala, you're unmuted.
I would ask everyone to mute their phones, please, while Mr. Halia speaks.
Better. Can you hear me now?
Mr. Halia, there's a significant amount of,
I don't know why that is.
are you on 2 lines?
I don't know what's causing that. I honestly don't.
You have 2 devices?
Is that any better?
That is much better. Thank you.
Oh, I'm
Right
sorry.
ahead.
I had it on speaker. I didn't know that.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
We can. Go right
Okay,
ahead.
great. Thank you. My name's Fred Hott. I'm on the board of the Bowlers Quarters Improvement Association. Here on Bay Drive, we've been dealing with floods for decades, as long as I've lived here. However, increased amounts of rainfall and rising sea levels are worsening our flooding situation. It's not uncommon for us to have up to 12 inches of standing water with just a normal spring passing storm. The pictures I provided to Chris, I think clearly demonstrate the flooding situation that we're dealing with. We have an existing culvert that's located by 4009 Bay Drive, but it just cannot handle the increased amounts of rainfall and just the larger volume of water that we're seeing. So to remedy this and to help alleviate and improve the drainage, we were asking Baltimore County to install a second drain pipe into the Baltimore County Park that you could see to the left where the marshland was. Proceeding, that pipe would go through the parkland and end at the water's edge. This will significantly help our drainage. I mean, currently right now, it takes anywhere from several hours to over 12 hours before Bay Drive is passable again. As a result, we're also facing very hazardous and environmental situations. Our grinder pumps, our sewer systems shut down. They need to be serviced because the ejector pumps are experiencing a heavier load. Service crews have to come out, all the costs to the county. Likewise, the increased flooding and the slower drainage adds to the mosquito infestation here in the community. And during the winter, we have severe icing conditions because the roads just do not drain fast enough. And utility services and medical services are delayed because, again, the road is unpassable. So again, I have to reiterate, a second drain pipe would really, really help our situation here and improve our runoff. That's all. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer those. Hello?
Mr. Chairman, you're on mute.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Haley. I'm going to move to Mr. Patrick O'Brien.
Mr. O'Brien,
Mr.
you're
Chair.
unmuted. You can begin.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, excellent. Thank you. I'm Pat O'Brien. I'm representing the Summit Park neighborhood in Catonsville, and I'm here to explain some stormwater containment issues we are struggling with and would like some help. Next slide, please. The area we're talking about is bounded by Frederick Road on the left, Rolling Road on the right, and it centers on Fairfield Drive and Park, which is in the middle. The light blue arrows show the way water funnels from left to right. All water goes from Frederick and tries to get to Rolling. The dark blue dotted lines are roads that have storm drains and means to convey water into the storm drains. All the other roads have not an incomplete system. There are some storm drains on Fairfield, but no curbs and gutters. Next slide, please. The result is we end up with uncontrolled water that just flows from left to right on the page. The graphics kind of illustrate that the water jumps into roadways and out of roadways. The squiggly line down Park illustrates the fact that the water actually slaloms back and forth. down the road, causing issues. And then the blue ovals, they represent ponding areas where we have ponding water that sits for very long periods of time. Next slide, please. So some of the issues it causes that I think is of concern to the county is the picture on the right shows water from right to left entering the sidewalk. The picture on the left shows what ends up happening. These are normal rainstorms where we have water funneling down sidewalks. Next picture, please. In the wintertime, the uncontrolled water makes its way across the road and freezes, creates these problems. We have this issue on sidewalks as well. Next slide. Here's a picture of the ponding in the backyard. This sits for weeks on end. Major mosquito issues occur during the warmer weather, and actually we had a neighbor die of West Nile virus, the property to the left of the shed right there, unfortunately. Next slide. And then finally, there's significant erosion, which is a problem for property owners, but it's also an environmental problem. Ms. Cassiani is next, and she's going to cede her time to me. I think she sent a note through. I don't have much more.
Mr. Chairman, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, trying to not to talk over anyone. Is Ms. Cassiani, she is giving you her time. She is not speaking this evening. Is that correct? Mr. O'Brien?
That is correct, yes.
Go right ahead.
Okay, next slide, please. So we brought up these issues to the county, and they were great. DPW came out and was talking with us, and we started to work up a plan on what could possibly fix the issues. Next slide, please. And at first, we worked up a plan that included sewers, storm drains, and curbs and gutters for all the streets. But we realized that the cost was probably prohibitive, so we went back to the drawing board, and in conjunction with Mr. Lafferty, we decided to let's pare down the projects. The orange represents the proposed project. The 3 dots are 3 new inlets, which are extensions of the current system. The orange dashed line is new curbs and gutters. Next slide. And we feel that this, which is about 25% of the cost of the full project that was originally proposed, we think this is targeted at the spots that are most meaningful, which means we get the most value out of our dollar, and it extends the existing storm facilities that are already there. A point I'd like to note is we have full support of our community. We have a petition with over 50 signatures. We've had community meetings with significant attendance. So we really hope that this project is considered. And that's all I have. I want to thank you for your time and ask you to support this project for us.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Brien. Our next speaker is going to be Stephen Bowler.
Can you confirm that you can hear me?
We can hear you.
Thank you. Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to provide citizen input. I'm Stephen Bowler, and my wife, Anita Kramer, and I live at 1605 Park Grove Avenue in Catonsville. I'm here because we and our neighbors are negatively affected by an undersized storm drain system. As you can see, during this August 12th 4-inch rainfall, the storm drains were overwhelmed, flooding the public road, creating a hazard to people and their cars. The stormwater flows onto the county parcel at 1603 Park Grove Avenue, which is on the right in this picture, and into private yards where it regularly floods a garage, sometimes floods basements, and causes costly property damage and erosion. In addition to us, the affected property owners include our neighbors at 1601 Park Grove, across the county parcel from us, 1602 across the street from us, and 1607 downstream from us. All of these neighbors have signed the letter we submitted for your review. We're grateful that the county staff has studied the storm drain and proposed to upgrade it in 2024 by doubling the number of stormwater inlets from 2 to 4 and expanding the limited capacity of from the existing 24-inch corrugated metal pipe to a 29 by 45-inch concrete pipe. We are, however, requesting that the work be accelerated 2 years from 2024 to 2022. Why are we making this request? The flooding is frequent enough, occurring more than once per year on average over the last 5 years. And the flooding is impactful enough that we fear more property damage, more cost to us, and more risk to public safety the longer the problem exists. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bowler. Linda Kelly.
One moment, Mr. Chairman. We're trying to locate her number.
Okay, not a problem. And while you're doing that, I just want to reiterate, if there are items or comments, please enter them into the chat and we will read those into the record. Mr.
Should I
Wilkerson.
continue? Hello? This is
I believe
Liz
Ms.
Kelly.
Kelly's here.
Yeah, Ms. Kelly, give
Yeah.
me 1 second. Mr. Wilkerson, I have a note from you as well. I want to be clear. Are you indicating that you submitted a request to provide testimony? And you can enter that in the chat. I'm going to let Ms. Kelly go ahead, or you can enter that in the Q&A, Mr. Wilkerson. Ms. Kelly, you go right ahead.
Okay. I'm a property owner at 1003 Lilies Lane in the Oella community. And we support Mr. Wilkerson's efforts on stormwater management. But I would like to detail what is happening to our neighborhood and property. And I know that this is an ongoing issue in many areas in Oella. We really need help throughout the whole community for stormwater management. We have an issue uphill from us from Westchester Avenue where rainfall is coming at an incredible fast and heavy rate. It's almost being funneled right down into the Lilies Lane community, causing dangerous erosion, even in just a normal rainfall event. We've had 2 major issues this summer that have endangered property and also I feel could be dangerous to people in the area as well. My husband and I don't live at the property currently. My aunt and uncle do. We live in Oakland, Maryland right now. But we did visit the property 2 weeks ago and walked up the hill to see where the issue is occurring. There's a stormwater intercept just above the hillside at 1005 Lilies Lane next to us. And it's readily apparent that that intercept is undersized and is being overflown and clogged with debris even from minor rainfall events, and is causing now damage to the community, to several houses, to Lilies Lane, and I fear to Oella Avenue if it's not addressed. As we walk up the hill, it seems that most of this rainfall is coming off of Westchester Avenue, and it's being funneled to a very narrow area. I have provided pictures to our council representative, Tom Quirk, in August of the last event. I have not provided anything today, but I'll be happy to provide those pictures to you as well as pictures from our walkthrough 2 weeks ago. I can do that as soon as tomorrow. So
and that's fine, Ms. Kelly.
Pardon?
No, I'm saying that is fine. We've
That's
reached
fine.
your time limit. Yeah, we reached your time limit. So what I will ask you to do, if you would send that to the staff, and they will share that
I'll
with the
definitely do
board
that.
members.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Now, that concludes the list of individuals who had signed up. I do not see anything in the chat. I did mention Mr. Wilkerson, but I did not get a response back from him, and I don't believe we have anything in the Q&A. Is that correct, Chris?
Mr. Chairman,
no.
someone in the Q&A, Mr. Wilkerson has said he did sign up.
Yes, I saw that, and that's why I asked. I asked if he had materials or he would like to speak. Mr. Wilkerson?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Now we can hear you, sir.
Thanks. Not sure what happened, but I do appreciate you giving me some time now. So I am here on behalf of the Oella Homeowners Association, representing approximately 160 homes, nearly 300 citizens of the Oella community. And we are basically the historic district along Oella Avenue. And just like many other parts of the region, the county, as earlier presenter showed, we are suffering from some pretty severe stormwater related issues. And I think it's particularly urgent here because we do have one of the national and state registered historic districts. The problems that we are experiencing are damaging homes that are over a century, sometimes 2 centuries old. And this is something that is on the county's radar, as evidenced by some of the significant stormwater management projects that are already within this area. Race Road is a notable example. It's an entirely private road that the county got easements through several private properties in order to put in a massive infrastructure project about a decade ago. And I implore the county to look at our community, but also the greater Oella community, for more sites that would merit that kind of intervention, because we have a serious crisis that we are facing. I also encourage you to take a drive down Oella Avenue sometime soon, because you can see where there are eroded slopes going right into the public right-of-way, as well as significant indication of undermining of Oella Avenue, a public roadway adjacent to the Patapsco. The problems that we are facing are pretty intense. It impacts environmental aspects. We're right adjacent to the Patapsco. Significant debris washes into there, and I hope that the county can do something before we wind up as another Hilltop and Thistle and
Time.
what happened there recently. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkerson, and we appreciate your input. That actually concludes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
there's an additional comment in the chat
Okay.
from Ms. Marsha McLaughlin. She says, as the first speaker, I tried to abide by the 1-minute time limit, which others didn't do. I'd like to ask that you look at my written comments, including map 1, which shows the right-of-way for Meliconthan Avenue that has always provided pedestrian access for the community to York Road. When the county closed and sold the Meliconthan Avenue right-of-way, pedestrians were allowed to continue to access York Road. Please review the submission.
And we will do that. Thank you. Are there any other input for this evening? Chris?
Mr. Chairman, I don't see any additional comments.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone who spoke this evening. The Planning Board and the county agencies will take into consideration all comments submitted and generated from this evening's meeting and all materials that we receive. If there are no further questions from the members of the board, we will adjourn. Are there any questions from any board members? Okay, not hearing any. The Citizens Input meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all for your attendance.